Thank you for making time for the call. And thank you so much, Sammi and Vern, guest speakers on the call. Really, we're going to break it down to 15 to 20-minute segments on really how to win an All-American as an assistant manager. Whether you are officially an assistant manager, you're going to be an assistant manager, you are an assistant manager, whatever your situation is, it's basically going to be how to sell a ton of Cutco this summer. So I'm really excited for you guys taking time to be a part of this. And this is our last and final, think about it, all the Sundays we have had these calls leading up for summer preparation. Summer is here. It's exciting. People are blowing up. Mindy is one of them. We're gonna have a lot of new people on the team this summer, and it's gonna be exciting. So thank you. If you're not officially an assistant yet, we need help. We're gonna need a lot of help. And so about 80% of this call is gonna be on how to sell big, and then 20% is how to sell big as an assistant manager. So I wanna dive right in here since I am on a time crunch. Can you guys see this? Okay, good. Oh, good.
Yes.
The Mighty Northwoods Division Summer Management Team All-American AM meeting, welcome. So reflection, take a moment right now, about 30 seconds. How have you changed or grown since starting with Vector? And there's plenty of ways. Just list off as many as you can in 30 seconds. What new habits have you formed? What new mentalities do you have? How have you grown? What have you started? Podcasts, books, Miracle Morning. What have you overcome? By the way, whether it's been 3 days like Mindy or 11 years like Vernon. I think it's 11. Long time. So when you look at that list, it's a pretty awesome list, right? And yes, you had the choice to do all this, but Vector was a great vehicle, a great space for you to learn this, right? So you will impact so many lives this summer with your example. Your sales leadership, your showing up to events, your positivity, your group involvement, you matter, you impact a ton of lives. And so, yes, you want to make a lot of money, and yes, you want to graduate debt free and invest and all that, but think about your ripple effect that you will have on dozens, if not hundreds of people this summer in the Northwoods Division. The more value you add, the more you benefit, right? Right? Did you guys realize that? Have you guys noticed that in life? The more you give out, the more that you receive. It's pretty cool the way that works. So think about this summer, what 3 main outcomes do you have? So write them down. Have you thought about them? If you haven't, here's a good 30 seconds to think about it. So when you're at the end of the summer, looking back, what are your 3 main goals that you want to have accomplished? And for time's sake, I won't have you share, but that would be a great thing to share with your manager or a coworker. So 3 main outcomes. My outcomes for the Northwoods. We want to recruit an army this year. Mission 2000 of scheduling over a couple thousand people for interviews. We want a great rep experience, meaning we want over 25 people, the Northwoods Division, hit Dirty 30 and be accepted into our Leadership Academy program. We want to share our Live Courageous culture by helping people live the life of their dreams. And as you know, that's our rally cry, to live courageous, to be bold, to face fear and overcome it. My outcomes for you are whether you want to run an office or not in the future, it's be prepared and confident to run an office. And then you have options and you're ready for it. I don't want you to come in unprepared or unconfident in it. And I want you to be ready for it. And then to have big savings as well by the end of the summer. So big savings. So of course, the more you sell, the more you're going to be able to earn and save as well. And then personal growth also. So those are my outcomes for you. Your role as an assistant. So as you go big for an All-American, know that you do have, especially as an assistant, some extra focuses, right? So some extra things you want to dedicate yourself to. So when it comes to your role as an AM, you're basically going to be recruiting, coaching, leading by example. And I open up the call of leading by example, like the ripple effect you have by selling, taking people field training, creating the culture. Remember, culture is caught, not taught. Our division is going to see what to do based on your example this summer. And then coaching, if you're lucky enough to be officially an assistant, that you are able to be leading a pod, a crew of people. You're directly responsible for PDI and PCing them, getting them to events, getting them to conferences. By the way, how awesome was that rep conference here just this last weekend? That was great. And there'll be a lot of those, or a few of those this summer. And then recruiting. Recruiting is the answer. Team building, helping out with interviews, helping out sending direct messages on social media, and booking fire number 5, 10, 15 to 20 a week. So that's your role as an assistant this summer. And when it comes to recruiting, this is really more for the sales managers and some of you selling and recruiting assistants. But around leading by example with sales, it is setting people for interviews, right? Heavy from Saturday through Monday. All right. Texting and calling to get people in for interviews, helping out with the names we were collecting, sending messages, texting the Google form. You guys got it. So in a way to lift off this summer and build this massive army of great people that you guys can influence, that you guys get a chance to lead, is that we need your help with AM PRs. So it says AM PRs, and no, not all of you are assistants on the call, and welcome some guests as well from other divisions. But we want you to have a top 20 list, not only for reps, but also the SMRA position, for sure. Make a list of each. Those stats are crazy. I was just doing this with an SMRA recently. Her name's Jade. And of the 20 people, 16 of them responded with interest. And we're getting a lot of people excited about summer work with us. So get that group. There's a trip to Vegas, right? I don't know if all of you heard that, but there's a trip to Vegas. There's a lot of team builder prizes. There's an All-American. So you matter in your liftoff and our liftoff this summer. And then, of course, a lot of you are heavily involved in the social media recruiting. And then the SMRA program is even more important. So you might have a friend who has a really good following on social media, but might not want to do the whole knife thing. And so we can work with them as well. Okay, so here's again, earnings. Again, this is mainly how to be an All-American tonight, but it is important to know you're making income off the office. So when you look at this, take a screenshot. I don't have time to go through every little box here, but essentially, based on your involvement in an office, you're going to get a higher pay percentage. And based on how well you lead by example and you recruit is going to determine how much that office does. Your district managers, your division manager is all out, all in, going to do their best. But if we have a group to rally with of 1 to 10 assistant managers who are leading by example, it's going to help everyone sell more. So it wouldn't be bad, to make 1,000 or 2 off the office. Maybe more. Some people might make more, but that's an example of the earnings. Here's a calendar of events. This is more Northwood specific. Take a screenshot of this as well. Just had the rep event, which was awesome. We have events training on the 25th with Nick Snyder. I believe it's in Stevens Point. So get the 15K if you're not there already. Get a chance to learn how to do service events and farmers markets and all the events. And then SC1 is coming up. Okay, so be ready. We'll be kicking things off actually here pretty quickly in a couple weeks. Realize there's going to be some phone jams. There's going to be some hype events to get things going. And then the push is the 1st to the 14th. They'll be joining 3 other divisions throughout Wisconsin and Illinois. It's going to be a massive event. That's going to be exciting. That is on June 14th and 15th. So mark that in your calendars, write that down, take a screenshot right now. And that is the playoffs. That is the warm up, right? How many of you wish you had another fast start? I wish another fast start, right? Totally. So this is a chance for you to kind of strut your stuff, see what's going on, and see what you're made of. And then the Super Bowl, which is the SC2 event. There's going to be some kickoff phone jams in July 10th through the 12th. Then a big kickoff event on the 12th because the push is a 2.5-week all-out push, July 13th through the 29th. And then the conference is July 30th through 31st. So why am I sharing with you some of these events? Because One of the ways you become an All-American is you go big for the pushes. I sold 36,000, was an All-American my second summer, and 30,000 of the 36,000 I sold that summer, and back in 2005, when the homemaker was like $28. Just kidding. But I sold 30 of my 36 grand and was an All-American in those 3 pushes. So it's important to go all out for pushes and to be ready for pushes and to warm up for them. And then we have a Dreams Retreat in Wisconsin. So that's August 17th through the 19th in the Dells. Dirty 30 Boating Day. That's going to be a blast. Bring it back. And there'll be a little push before that as well. So with the Dreams Retreat, be overnight in the Dells. We'll create a list of 100 to 200 dreams. Relax, socialize, not a lot of meetings, just a lot of hanging out. And Boating Day, of course, is a fan favorite. So getting into sales here, and of course, Sammi and Vern are going to give you more of the mentalities and specifics of how they've done it and sold a lot. But take a screenshot of this. This is how it breaks down for each and every one of you. If you're a sales manager, so like specifically in Fox Valley, Joe and Claire, you guys are all out helping out in the office. If you sell a little bit on the side, order or 2 is great, but be ready to go big in July for SC2. So all sales managers for sure can sell 15 grand this summer. You know, bare minimum, if you're selling a recruiting assistant, I mean, 20K is like sound like 1,000 to 2 a week. It's doing a part-time job. And this is how, even right now, in May week 3 that we're finishing up, you could still be at 0. Is anyone a little rusty? Coming off of school and exams and maybe even done anything in a while? So it's only getting up to 500 here, May week 5. So you still have another week or 2 of selling nothing, right? And then 500, then going a little big for SC1, and then selling a little bit, going big, 10K for SC2. You know, that's good and selling 20 grand. A lot of you, I really want a lot of you to sell 30,000 plus. I know you can. When you break it down, it's selling 500 most weeks, as you can see, and then warming up finally to sell 5K for SC1 and 15K for SC2. You could sell 30 grand. And then All-American 50K, which is what Sammi and Vernon are going to mainly talk about. But this is what's possible. This is what you for sure can do. And 50 grand is not a cap. It is a big number that all of you could be shooting for. So that's our breakdown. Take a screenshot and then sit down with your manager, your captain. Let us know what number you're shooting for this summer. How can we help you? There's many options. Here's the earnings, by the way. So this basically gives you, take another screenshot. This gives you, if you sell this much on the top, how much will you earn if you were at this amount in sales, right? So let's say, you know, Claire, you're at 15K-ish, let's say, you know, 17K, whatever it may be. If you sell 20 grand, you make 7 grand, right? So you use the graph and you look at this, right? Some of you up and comers, right? Maybe you're only at 3 grand or 6 grand. That's okay. But you sell 50 grand, you're making 17 to 18,000 this summer. That is a game-changing income that will open up so many doors for you that you didn't even think were possible. And it sets you up on a path for financial freedom, graduating debt-free, saving a ton of money, doing some big things. Some of you, right? Some of you are pretty high in sales. That's exciting. What's possible? Could you make 20 grand this summer? So again, that's how it breaks down. That's the earnings. Take a screenshot. 3, 2, 1, moving on. Okay, here's some case studies. Carmen just missed being an All-American, but she's awesome, so I included her. She, this last summer, so again, take a screenshot of this. She sold, this is how much she sold each week on the left-hand side. She sold 39,521 last summer. And really kind of last summer, and she also took off the last like 3 or 4 weeks. You can see career sales, how those built up, and her earnings. She earned 10,600 and had 2,400 in her withholding. So she had 13,000 that she made last summer. She also had a 10K fast start, which helps. So Mindy, challenge out to you. But you can see there, that's how Carmen sold 40 grand, which 40 grand gives you a chance of being an All-American. It doesn't guarantee it based on how much everyone else sells, but it's a pretty good amount. Here's Julia from Minneapolis office. She sold 43,000. You can see here, nothing special here, 2,000, 2,000, 1,000, 1,000. Didn't really go big until June week 2. and something lit a fire underneath her, and she sold like 15,000 3 weeks. And then she chilled for a couple of weeks. Then she went big for the SC2 push, sold 15,000 there, and then chilled, and then sold a little bit before she went off to school. She sold 43,000, earned 14,370. Here's Sammi. She'll be speaking it. Sammi didn't even start. Do you remember what's the date you started, Sammi? Do you remember?
June 12th.
June 12th. So it's a great date because that's the date I started as well. So that is in a month from now. So you could sell nothing. So don't do this, but you could sell nothing the next month. And her first weekend sold 1,200. And then look out. Talk about being a beast, which is why she's going to give you guys some tips here, is look at this solid 3,000 to 4,000 a week, pretty much. It was like basically her fast start and then went big. So had a 20K SC2 and then stayed pretty consistent. 1 week under 1,000, then went big towards the end of summer. She sold 49,468, made 13,600 and had 3,800 saved. So collectively about $17,000 that she earned last summer. It's kind of nice when you can do that and focus on softball and school and fun throughout the school year. So some of you need to go big this summer and become All-American so you can take off and focus on your studies and your work and everything in school and sports throughout the fall and spring. So that's Sammi. Here's Morgan Phillip. She's one of the top people in the region. Last summer, you can see she sold $81,000. She started the second week of May, which is like last week. And she had a 10K fast start and then one to 3,000, then went big here for SC1, like an 18,000 RC1, then chilled to 1 to 2,000, then went massive, looks like 30,000 for SC2, and then chilled, and then finished up with like a 10K. Oh, hold on. Okay.
Family time.
Okay, we got another minute. All right. Yeah, normally it's an alarm for family time. It's not 6:01 yet though. Okay, so how about that? What if you earned $31,000 this summer? What would that do for you, right? Now, again, she's one of the top people in the nation, but that's how it breaks down. So you can take a screenshot. These are great case studies to analyze and take a look at, well, how can I model my summer after that? How does that work? So now what, right? So a couple of things you want to do is you want to work on a top 20 SMRA list and top 20 PR list. Whether you have numbers or handles, whatever it is, we want to get a massive group of people on the team. We want them to be your friends. We want you to compete with them and have a blast. So that's something I'd like for you to do. I'd also like for you to share 3 outcomes with your manager. So the 3 outcomes that you came up with when I started off the call, and share that with them in the next 24 hours. And then if you have any events this summer, like some of you are going on trips, some of you have, just events and things going on that, softball clubs and soccer leagues and all this stuff that we want to make sure we can work around. The great thing about Vector is we can work around your whole schedule. I don't care if you're a really busy sales manager in one of our offices, you can get everything done, right? You can sell a ton, you can lead a ton, you can still have a great summer. And it shouldn't be all out Vector. It shouldn't be no life with Vector. And all it is eat, breathe, and sleep Cutco. Maybe for a couple weeks during a push, it could be if you're looking to challenge yourself, but it should be, hey, I'm using Vector as a vehicle to accomplish my dreams because nowhere else have the flexibility. There's nowhere else can make this kind of income. And I want to enjoy my summer and make a ton of money. So it's a way of balancing it all out. So the worst is if a manager doesn't let us know their dates of when they're out of town. And then we have to scramble last minute because that wasn't talked about. So make sure you talk to your manager today. And then finally, listen to Ben Cooper's recent podcast on changing lives, selling knives. It's really good. He sold, I think the number was 411,000 in the last 2 years. It was really, really good. Really, really good. So listen to that. That'll fire you up a little bit. All right. So we have 2 all-stars, Sammi Soley and Vernon Williams, who are going to be speaking. I'll introduce you, Sammi, first. Because you're up next. But Sammi, thank you for your time here as you're getting off the season here. Sammi is a D1 athlete. She's super busy throughout the school year, so mainly works summers and winter breaks. As you saw last summer, She tore it up, killed it, was #1 in the division, and is really, really good. And so I know she has some big goals to sell big again this summer. And she's really good, really talented. And she single-handedly was one of the most influential people in the Northwoods division when it came to what was possible, when it came to culture, when it came to champs clubs, when it came to just energy. She's a blast. And I know a lot of you already know her. So Sammi, can you share with us what you got on how to win an All-American this summer? Good for Sammi.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Jason. Yeah, I am super pumped about SC1. You guys should be too. Definitely sign up for that because, are you guys hearing me okay? All right, awesome. It might be a little glitchy. The internet isn't too good here, but stick with me. But yeah, so SC1 is awesome. I joined and SC2 began, and SC2 literally motivated me to have an amazing summer selling. So I'm going to read you guys my first journal entry of the first day of the push, just because it kind of, like, I went back and reread it and I'm like, oh my gosh, I had like no confidence in myself, like whatsoever. I did not think my goal was possible, but I put all my trust in my faith and in my managers. So yeah, I'll just read this to you guys really quick, just so you guys can see that I am no different than you guys. So I said at 12:17 a.m. I'm feeling nervous but excited for the push to start. I really want to excel and see myself grow throughout these next 2 weeks. I would love to hit my goal of 20K, but I'm extremely nervous that I do not have enough demos booked. I will be bummed if I do not hit this goal, but I will also understand and learn why I didn't hit the goal if I don't hit it. I'm praying that Jesus will give me his favor and have his hand upon me and my clients throughout this 2-week push. I pray that he blesses every single demo and that each demo will have purpose and passion. I'm extremely thankful for this opportunity, and I'm thankful for my manager and the other managers for teaching me, coaching me, and encouraging me. I'm also thankful for Carmen, and she was my accountability partner, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Where am I? I pray that she does extremely well during this push because she is hardworking and kind, and I want to journal every night of the push. And I'm praying that I can grow and develop into a stronger, more independent, obedient, and relentless leader. My goal is 20K. I serve the God of the impossible. This seems extremely impossible to me, but with him, I know it can happen. Time for bed. I have a big day tomorrow. So that was my first journal entry of the SC2 push. And guys, I had no faith that I was going to hit it, but I put all my faith in God that he would make it possible for me, and he did. I actually exceeded it, and I think I got like 21, 22K during the push, so it was great. But I mentioned Carmen in my little journal entry, and this is like something that I want you guys to take from my talk, is that you guys gotta get an accountability partner. So anybody on the screen right now, like, find your person that you would like to talk to every single day, and let me tell you, you guys are going to become best friends because you'll be able to talk about each demo. Sometimes you'll be able to vent a little bit about your no sales, and then you'll be able to encourage one another about your no sales. So Carmen was definitely that person for me, and we actually had a goal together. So I think her goal was 20K as well. She didn't end up hitting it, but we said that if both of us hit 20K, we're going shopping and we're dropping $500. Like, that is our reward. So make sure you guys reward yourselves too with your goals. So get an accountability partner. That's my #1 thing for the summer. Next is phoning consistency. You guys have to phone just about every day. I went to Champs Club every single morning at, I think it was 7 a.m., 8 a.m. It was 8 a.m. And I phoned every morning. And sometimes there was only 2 of us. Sometimes there was 10 of us. So even if you're the only one there, like, still go, because you're going to have the opportunity to talk to managers as well, and that they can give you feedback. Also, it's just a different time of day where you can get a hold of customers. And then I also encourage phoning at team meetings. Do whatever you can to get to team meetings, because that's where you're going to learn, grow, and be able to phone, and that's in the evening. So a lot of people are home after work, and so it's a great time to like reach customers as well. And then also phone jams, make those phone jams. It's really fun. Also, you have opportunities to win money. So that's also very fun. Next thing I want to talk about is your goals page. So I don't know if all of you guys have like a little about me presentation before you do the demo, but if you have a great goals page, that is where you're going to sell your customers. I would pull mine up right now. Jason, I don't know if you have a picture of my goals page and want to pull it up for me. You don't? Okay. I can send it in the group chat sometime this week, but I'm not on my computer right now. But have your thermometer, have your goal at the top, and I would just express to your customers over Zoom that your goal is this high because you're hardworking and you want to earn money for the summer because you're an independent person. That is literally what I said every single time. I said, I'm working hard, I'm paying for college on my own, and I want to graduate debt free. That is my biggest goal. So right away, they're like, wow, she's independent. She's not relying on her parents. She's not lazy. Like people like that, you know? So as soon as you can get your customers to buy into you, like it's going to be a sale. So make sure your goal sheet and your whole about me presentation is absolute fire. And then I wanted to talk about, okay, challenging yourself for pushes. So my manager told me that I should hit 20K for the push. And I was like, absolutely not. Like I'm coaching softball this summer. I'm training for softball myself, working out every day. No way is 20K possible. I'm like, let's do 10K. He's like, all right, whatever. He was kind of upset with me, you know? And then I went to SU2 conference and I was like, yep, I'm going to hit 20K. Like it's so possible I can do it, you know? And then you guys obviously read my first journal entry, which I was kind of like hesitant, but I definitely went for it. If you guys have a pen and a paper nearby, I'm going to have you guys write this one quote down. And this is literally a game changer. And this is what made me accomplish my push as well. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready to write it down somewhere. Okay, cool. It looks like majority of you already. So write it down. I will sell blank. Just write a blank right there right now because you guys haven't talked about what you want to sell yet. Comma, there is no other option. So I will sell blank, comma, there is no other option. So anytime that somebody says, oh, you're selling knives this summer, or nobody's going to buy knives from you, or you've already sold to like all of your family. There's no way you can sell any more knives. That is all doubt. That is all not true. So you need to defeat all of those lies coming into you with that one statement. I'm going to sell 20K this summer. There's no other option. Then it kills all of the doubt. So that is one statement that I always told myself after every single no sale. I'd be like, I'm going to sell 20K in this push. There's no other option. That person doesn't need Cutco. On to the next one. And then I completely forgot about that and brought all of my energy into the next demo. So I'd say energy, passion. If you can smile, you're going to sell Cutco. You just got to have fun and remember that you're not only selling Cutco, but you're selling yourself. You got to have energy and passion, and they're going to love that. And they're going to see that and want what you have. So that's what I have for you guys today.
Woo!
Thanks.
Thank you, Sammi. So good. So good. Let's see. Should we do questions now or at the end after Vern? Vern, what do you think?
Assume now.
We could either do now or we could do like a Q&A panel with Sam and I at the end.
Okay. Let's have a couple specific questions for Sammi first now, and then we'll have Vern speak. So who has anyone made, I mean, it's early in the summer. Has anyone already made like a summer goal page? Okay, a couple of you. Kaylee, nice. I'm sure you hopefully just have one now that you're using, right? For like, whether it's your fast start, your month goal, your spring campaign goal, not transition into your summer goal. But a lot of you coming off of school, it's good to think about and go over this with your manager. Like, hey, 30K, 40K, 50K this summer, there's no other option, right? So you want to have that, and you want to make that so you're able to share that with your customers. Samuel put that in the group me. So that's definitely something that's really good. Let's see. Does anyone have any questions on how to make a goal page or what to put on it? Okay. Part of the goal page too that Sammy you had that helped you have a ton of demos later on throughout the summer. Can you explain them what you had as part of your recommendations portion of your goals page?
Yeah, so I had like a recommendation leaderboard. So anytime that somebody would give me recommendations, I would put their name on it and the number of recos that they gave me. And this was before the demo. And I'd skip to the side. I'm like, now these are my nicest customers. These people truly care about me and my job, and they continue to give me names and numbers. And if they give me 10 plus names or numbers, I might throw in something for free. And then usually they're like, oh, okay, I want something. Everyone wants free stuff. So yeah, I can send that later on too.
Cool. Thank you. What was one of your biggest days of overcoming doubt or fear, or like a bad start today turned out well? Just like, what's a cool story over the summer, the push that, is so like a defining moment maybe during the summer that was like a breakthrough?
Wait, can you repeat that?
Sure. I guess I'm looking for, because so in the summer, if you're going big, you're gonna have a lot of adversity. If you're going big for a push, you're gonna have a lot of adversity. So it's like, when I look back to some of my defining moments in my Cutco career selling 300,000 plus, there were a lot of times and moments where I'm like, I didn't believe something, and all of a sudden, like there's a breakthrough. Or at a horrible day, we're like at 0 for 6 and I felt like quitting, and then the following day sold like $4,000. Or like I went 0 for 5 the first 5 demos, the last time it was like my first ultimate with flatware or something. Do you have a couple stories like that?
Yeah. I remember during the push, I had somebody scheduled for 5 a.m. because I had to reschedule them like 2 other times. And then the only other time I could get them was 5 a.m. I was like, I'll do anything for my push. Like, I'll wake up that early. So I woke up that early and it was a no sale. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm up at 4:30 and then have a no sale, whatever. So I went to Champs Club and I vented to everyone. I was like, oh, why did that happen? Like, what'd I do wrong? And they're giving me advice. And I went into my next demo, another no sale. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is happening? So then that's when I texted my accountability partner, Carmen, and she kind of hyped me up and got me back. And I think that night I sold another homemaker or a Siggy, something big. And I was like, oh, thank God, because I needed to sell something today in order to stay on track for my goal. So I know you guys have probably all heard this, but you have to get through your no's to get to the yes. So believe in that, remember that. It's okay if you're gonna have a no sale. It's not normal to have 3 in a row, so that's when you take a break and call your manager. But I've had 3 no sales in a row and I still, became an All-American. So just believe in yourself, have confidence, and seriously stay in communication with your managers because they will help you through it all.
And how many days would you say that you're up early at Champs Club throughout the summer?
Every day. I went to Champs Club every day.
Okay.
Especially during the push. I did not miss a day.
And Champs Club may be different in each office, but most offices it is 8 a.m. And then final question I have for you, Sammy, would be what's a cool chicken list story of someone during the summer that you didn't, you were super scared to call, but turned out pretty well, or kind of set up some big sales?
I guess I have 2 stories. My first story is that I didn't end up selling to this person, but somebody that I recruited sold to that person, and it was a homemaker. And I was like, I knew I should have called them, but they were on my chicken list and I didn't think they would buy anything. So yeah, call your chicken list for sure. And then I think during the push, I had a real estate agent that I was like, he knows a lot more than me. Like, I don't want to sell to him. Like, it's going to be tough, you know. I ended up selling an ultimate to him. So
Wow.
definitely call your chicken list.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Cool. Does anyone else have a question before we transition to Vern?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Sammy, how many demos did you do to hit 20K in your push?
I would have to go back and look at my calendar, but I believe during SC2, going into that week, I had 25 appointments booked for that 1 week. And that was only 1 week. So I'm sure I had to have had at least 40 appointments. But that's also like including some cancellations and reschedules in there. So I would definitely have to check my calendar on that. But I had 25 set going into the push.
Huge.
I just have a quick question too, Sammy. So could you talk about your phoning approach and how you avoid people rescheduling or people not showing up?
Yeah. So definitely during the push, I explained that. And honestly, if I were to start phoning again, I would do this either way, whether it's a push or not. But I'd figure out a day and time that works for them and I'd say, all right, Mrs. Jones, are you sure March 2nd at 9 a.m. works for you? Because I'm in this push right now. I have demos back to back and I literally cannot miss one. I cannot afford to miss one. I'm in a competition. And as you can hear by my voice, like, I'm a winner, I have to win. So are you sure March, whatever, at 9 a.m. works? Just say, yep, I'll be there. Okay, just so you know, I am gonna send a reminder text in the morning. Don't get annoyed with me. I just wanna make sure that you're gonna be there. I'm gonna send you a reminder text in the morning, okay? Okay. And then I also always read the script, but I also say the smiley face quote. I'm like, make sure, oh, by the way, my name is Sammy, and make sure you draw a big smiley face so you don't forget me. They always laugh. You gotta read the script. It's great. But yeah, express the importance of you got to be there. Like, I'm in a push right now. I'm competitive. I want to win. Are you sure this works for you?
Nice. Cool. Well,
Good question.
thank you, Sammy. We're going to move on to Vern here. We'll see if we have some time for extra questions at the end. But Vern is the inspirer of the division, if not the whole region. Vern is just an amazing guy. We're so blessed to have him in the Northwoods division and creeps down there into Chicagoland as well every once in a while. But he's amazing. And Hall of Fame, over $1 million in sales. Sold a ton of Cutco throughout college and has done amazing things. And so anytime we can get him on, even for like 15 minutes, is so huge. And so thanks, Vern, for your time. And I kind of give you freedom to just wow us up a little bit. Get these people ready to sell big this summer. So take it away, Vern.
Awesome. So completely random. Is that a different Grant Pederakis, or is he using Grant's like laptop? Like who are
Got
you?
a voice change, you know.
Okay, thought so. I was like, Grant looks a lot different. He's not bald anymore. But anyway, Sammy, that was a fire talk. And if you guys didn't see my little post in the chat, if you weren't taking notes and if you weren't present during that talk and you haven't made $17,000, you haven't sold 50K in 3 months, then you clearly just don't want to grow. You don't want to do better. And by the way, there are people who, like, if you're working full-time or part-time and going all out for you is selling 5 to 10 grand a summer, that's awesome. We're not asking for every single person to be an all-American and to sell 20, 30K. We simply want everyone to push themselves. That's one of my favorite parts of this job, is that I can challenge myself to grow and to better myself, right? It's not Jason telling me I need to sell more. It's not a region manager, it's just me just wanting to push myself. So we believe that if you're not growing, you're dying. Okay. So if you don't want to grow, then my opinion, you don't want to be here, because that's what sales is. It's growing and challenging yourself. Simply put, whatever that means to you. Again, that can mean 5 grand, 10 grand around your full-time job, or maybe you're involved in something else this summer. Awesome. And if you don't have literally anything going over this summer, then why wouldn't you go after a 30, 40, 50K summer? Okay. Like, the bigger the sacrifice, the bigger the success. And like, every single successful person will tell you that. Okay. So, but my first key to just going out and being, just going big for the summer is be grateful. Be in a constant state of gratitude. Like, my wife and I literally just got back from our vacation celebrating a 3-year anniversary, where we had a really nice Airbnb in La Crosse. And that was like Wednesday night through, like, literally 40 minutes ago. And on the way home, literally the whole 3-hour drive home, we literally talked about our dreams. That's legit all that we talked about. Because a mutual friend of mine and Jason's, he's our financial planner. He's like, all right, you need to tell me what you want when you retire. And retire to me simply means that I don't need to work to bring in money. That doesn't mean I'm 60 years old and I can't move and now I can live my life. Like, no, to me, retirement is like 15, 20 years from now, and I don't ever have to worry about money, and my wife and I can do whatever the heck we want. So we literally talked about, where we wanted to live, and the cars that we wanted, the lifestyle that we wanted, how much we wanted to give back, right? And you can cruise by 3 hours with talking like that. And next week we're going to Vegas to celebrate, to hang out with a bunch of CSPs to celebrate a good friends of my birthday. Like, life is good, you know what I mean? And I have like 8 or 9 appointments tomorrow in Marinette, which is awesome. So just always being in a state of gratitude. That's number one. Number two, just quick thing. I wanted to show you what Sammy was talking about when it comes to like your goal page and about me, like PowerPoint. So here's what I made. And I basically modeled this after like Sammy and Carmen and like the top people last summer. Yes, the CSP is learning from newbies, because successful people are always learning. Okay. So, you just have a fun little picture with you. And with me, since I've been doing this for over a decade, there's like little baby Vern right there, nice and skinny too. Then here's more full Vern. I'm in shape because round is a shape. So I'm always in shape. And then, you have an about me page. So, my lovely wife and I, family, life, church, all the good stuff, traveling with the company, some goals and dreams that we have. So this is literally everything that Mandy and I were just talking about. So you're showing your customers that, like, you're a real person, right? You're not just this weird person selling knives. Well, you are, but you also have goals and dreams, right? No more student loans, a family, and all that good stuff, okay? And then for me, I have a mission statement and a vision statement for my business. So do you have a mission statement for your business this summer? So that's mine. You don't have to have that in there, but that's what I have. And this is what we mean by a goal, like a thermometer. This is what I did for SC2. My goal was 30K. I had this awesome thermometer. So every single person saw that I was going after $30,000. And I did almost 40,000. So yay God. So, they see that. So have this for the summer. And then when you have a push, make one for the push. And then I had something for referrals, right? Just like Sammy said, here's how you can help me out the most, okay? And then just like Sammy said, I have this Hall of Fame for referrals. Like my sponsors that gave me 10 plus referrals. And as you're adding people to this, you can ask your customers, hey, who do you recognize on that sheet? I literally had someone so I've been doing this for a long time. This is probably from 5-6 years ago. And I had someone the other day like, oh, I know Cheryl. I'm like, oh, sweet. Well, let's get you on the list, right? So they see that people not only give you referrals, but they give you a lot of referrals, right? And I love that line that Sammy said, like, these are the people that like me the most. They actually want me to do really well. Oh, I love that. That's so great. So just make something fun like this, right? It's just 8 slides, and that's about it. Okay. So I wanted to show that. I also wanted to just go over this just super quickly here, just kind of breezing through this. Just simply, I don't want to share it. We'll do done. I want to do present. That's what I want to do. Okay, so just taking your business from good to great. Okay, there's a book that's literally called Good to Great. Okay, so we take a trip into the future. Okay, here's an awesome verse on vision. Right, write down the vision clearly on tablets so that even a runner can read it. For the vision is meant for its appointed time. It speaks of the end and it does not lie. So plain and simple, do you have a vision of what you want for the summer? Okay, if you don't know where you're going, you're not going to ever go anywhere. Okay, so what's your vision for the summer? And don't write down that number that you think your managers want you to write. Don't also write the number that you're comfortable with. You need to write down a number that freaking scares you. If that's 20K, great. If that's 10K, awesome. If it's 50K, great. If it's 100 grand, awesome. Write down that number that scares you. And you know that if you actually went all out and you just did the job, that you could actually do it. Like you need to write down a number that if you hit it, when you hit it, you're actually going to cry. I don't know if Sammy, if you cried when you hit your 20K goal. Yeah, she did. So she literally cried when she hit her goal. Okay, I didn't cry, but Sammy like literally cried. Okay, I can definitely tell you that I was very emotional when I got my Rolex, and I'm sure Jason was too. I was emotional when I hit Hall of Fame because I knew where I came from. Okay, Drake wrote that song literally about me, started from the bottom. That's literally like my theme song. Okay, so what is your vision for the summer? Write it down. I love that. I would sell blank this summer. There's no other option. That's exactly how I felt when I sold 300K in 2019. And then last year, when I wanted to have my second best year, I'm like, there's no other option. That's exactly what happened. So write that down. Some random quick tips for just like a manual upgrade here. So you want to get your customers tied into your mission, as I mentioned earlier. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. You have all those things that we literally just talked about. Get excited, have fun. Right. And then when you're talking about like the history of Cutco and common knives, like my first tip is change the word knife, like knife or knives, to sets. Okay. So don't say Cutco knives are made in America. Say Cutco sets are made in America since 1949, over 70 years. Okay. Our sets are guaranteed forever. Okay. So that's just one quick way that you can have your customers start to think bigger. Right? We want you to think bigger, and we also want our customers to think bigger. All right. Just moving forward, features and benefits. Cutco is the solution, right? A lot of people have a problem in the kitchen with having dull, crappy knives. Okay. The other thing I love doing is I love making Cutco sound super, super, super expensive. I want them to think that. Okay. I literally want them to think that the homemaker is like $4,000. I want them to think the ultimate is no kidding like $6,000 to $8,000. Okay, because it's worth that much, right? My mentor Brandon Brown, who was the first rep to personally sell $1 million residential Cutco, said if I could sell Cutco at the retail value, I would, because it's worth it. Okay, so Cutco is the solution. A great line to just add in after some of the great lines in the features and benefits, like when you talk about like, and the video does this a lot. But when you can go back and touch on like the awesome handle and the double D edge, right? You can just say, by the way, this is why you saw those awesome things in the video, like cutting the rope and the penny and talking about the handle, dishwasher friendly. All that stuff makes Cutco very expensive, Mrs. Jones. Like this is probably going to be the most expensive set of knives that you ever buy. And this will be the last set of knives you'd ever buy. Okay. And then, if you are doing like in-home appointments, cut the rope with the Hardy slicer. Okay. Obviously, we're in a virtual world. We don't need to do that. But if you do, cut it with the Hardy slicer. If you don't have the Hardy slicer, talk to your manager, get the Hardy slicer. You should already have it already. A Hardy slicer is awesome. All right. The forever guarantee, this is where you need to bring it home. This is where you get fired up. Right, Mr. Jones, this is why Cutco is the #1 brand of knives in the world, period. Nobody touches us. Okay. There is no other knife brand that is American made, fully guaranteed, and you have a personal professional representative comes with it. Mrs. Jones, instead of calling a 1-800 number, you call a 920 number. How awesome is that? Okay, You don't call a 1-800 number, you call a 920 number or whatever your area code is, okay? You call me personally. You send a message to me on Facebook. You send me an email, right? You get me, Mrs. Jones. What other knife brand is going to get you that? I'll wait, right? So even though Cutco may be the most expensive set of knives, cookware, flatware you ever buy, they'll be the last, okay? And you can ask people, hey, are you familiar with Snap-on Tools or LO Bean? You know, find out other knife or other brands that have like a lifetime perfect guarantee. Like, yes, I do. Yeah, Cutco is just like that, okay? So you need to get fired up when you talk about the forever guarantee. You've heard me talk about options closing, where basically you just show all the sets, right? And you just have them pick. And here we go. Okay. And then when you're having fun with them, like what I tell Mrs. Jones is like, hey, what I want to do is I want to make a big Cutco kitchen wish list and literally get anything and everything you would ever want of Cutco, whether if it's for today, 5 years down the road, or as a gift. All right. Just because we write it down doesn't mean this is what you're getting today. Of course, I'll give you a sharp deal at the end, right? Because of my goals, right? But whatever you don't get, I'll just keep on your wish list. So what does that give your permission? What does that give your customers permission to do? That gives them permission to dream and to think big and to literally go window shopping. Okay. You could literally say that after the forever guarantee, as you're going into showing like the sets and whatnot, you can just build a Cutco kitchen wish list, right? And talk to your managers before you do this part. But before closing on the sets, just show everything all at once, right? And just make like 3 simple packages. And we can dive into that later. That's some advanced stuff. Maybe if you want to go big for a push, I can give you a talk on that. But that's how my average order is so big, because I just show everything. And I basically show, all right, here's your Cutco kitchen package. Here's like, you know, your set with flatware. Then here's just the set, right? So they see 3 options, and the cheapest option is like usually the set of knives, right? Like, oh, sorry, you know, Claire, we can't do the $10,000 Cutco kitchen package. I think we'll just start with a signature. Is that okay? You know, Mrs. Jones, I'm going big for my goal, but yes, you can start with the signature and I'll give you a couple of gadgets for free. How about that? Right? Super awesome. Boom. Average order raise. You're welcome. We can dive into that later. But show everything. And then this was obviously, like I said, when we were like in home, and I love virtuals, but if you are doing it home, like cut the rope with the Hardy slicer, cut a pineapple with the Hardy slicer, like they'll love that. That's how you can sell like Siggies and Ultimates, but obviously, you know, we don't need to do that anymore. And most importantly for referrals, okay? Referrals is like it's not lifeblood, but it's how you continue to grow your business, okay? The name of the business is referrals, 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 all right? So ask better qualifying questions, okay? Who lives in the best neighborhood around? All of you know, like that awesome neighborhood that when you drive by, you just salivate, right? You're like, oh my gosh, if I can get into one home, okay? So like Appleton, it's Apple Creek Homes. It's like, or Apple Hills, I think it's called. But like you go in that home, it's like $500,000 homes, which is like, or $1 million homes. Like Mandy and I driving around there, and we just salivate just going through there. Like, I know if I got into just one place there, and Mandy's like, hey, we should join a YMCA because there's a YMCA right there that I bet all these rich people go to. I'm like, yeah, we should probably do that. So like, what's that neighborhood that you drive around and you're like, man, if I could do one appointment in that neighborhood, boom, I'd be done, right? Write it down. So every single appointment you ask them, hey, Mr. Jones, who do you know that lives in Apple Creek Hills subdivision? Okay. Not every single person is going to know, but one person will. And that's sometimes that's literally all it takes. Okay. We all know it's not what you know, it's who you know. Ask for the kind of people you want to see. Ask Mrs. Jones, hey, who do you know that owns, you know, multiple homes, has a successful, thriving business, right? Who's that social butterfly that knows everyone in town? All right. Some of you have heard this before, and we all know that repetition is the mother of mastery. All right. If you want to see millionaires, which it doesn't matter, we don't have a ton of millionaire clients, but Mr. Jones, just for fun, who do you know that's a millionaire? Okay. Mr. Jones, who do you know that's like super bougie and just wants all the nicest things? Okay. Ask them that, right? Who of you know someone who's that bougie friend that you know that just likes buying all the nicest stuff? right? We all know at least one person like that. Maybe, and if you don't, you're probably that person. That's all I'm saying. All right. Mrs. Jones, who has that beautiful white kitchen? Okay. Mrs. Jones, who is the one person that you know that could buy everything that Cutco has to make? Like they can literally just, they can just go through this slideshow and say, yep, I want this, I want that. Give me 3 of those, I want 5 of those. Okay. I have one customer like that, and that's literally how the appointments go. I see them maybe once every couple of years. And when I go there, the wife literally takes, well, I got a blue book. So we had like this blue book thing. You guys don't know what that is, but she literally took like based on my Cutco catalog, flips through it and say, yep, I'll take that. We need some Christmas gifts. Yeah, we'll take like 5 hunting knives. Oh, I need a garden tool set. Let's take the garden tool set. Does our daughter have a set of knives? Yeah, we'll get her a set of knives after they already bought 70 gifts for the business, by the way. Yeah, that was a good order, Mackenzie. That I almost retired after that. So ask your customers, who do you know that could just get everything that we have to offer without even hesitating? Okay. And then like after they give you referrals, you need to super qualify them. Ask who's married, right? Mrs. Jones, when does this person live in a home? Do they have a condo? Do they live in an apartment? Right? Mrs. Jones, what do they do for work? Right? Who's home during the day? Okay, if you were me, or if I were your son or daughter, okay, who would you call first, second, and third? Okay, Mrs. Jones, if I was your child and you wanted me to kill it this summer, who would you call? That is a powerful line. All right. And then you tell them that you're gonna talk to your friends first. We'll have you make a great post on Facebook for me, and it'll be good. Okay. So dive into referrals. Where focus goes, energy flows. You want to get really good at referrals, focus on referrals. You want to get really good at selling sets, focus on selling sets. Okay. Start building your brand. All right. Some of you follow me on social media and Mike Dowett and other top like CSPs. And we started building our brand when we're like at your stage of the game. Okay. So have every customer that buys like $1,000 add you on Facebook, upload a picture with you and tag you in a post. Right? Birds of a feather flock together. So if your like $1,000 customers are posting on their social media, hey, I just bought knives from Joe or from Claire or from Mindy or whoever, guess who's going to like it? Guess who's going to comment? Guess who are going to be the next people you're going to do appointments with? Probably people that can drop $1,000 or two on Cutco. Okay. And then you'll get some awesome posts like this. All right, this, and also all this is great. The person in the corner, they have like they basically have a whole Cutco kitchen and after like 3 years. Okay. And they still want more, by the way. Okay. They're awesome. They actually invited Mandy and I for lunch. Was it last summer? Is it the last summer or the summer before? They're like, yeah, you and your wife should come up sometime. They live in Sparta. And at that time, Mandy's sister and her husband lived in Sparta. So like, yeah, let's do that. And so they literally invited us up, cooked us an amazing meal. The husband just got done smoking some meat and we just hung out and ate barbecue and drank beer. So like, this job is pretty awesome. All right. Yes. And most importantly, discipline and consistency is a major key. You heard Sammi talk about it. The great thing about what Sammi did is that it wasn't some magical trick. It wasn't like, yeah, guys, I just live in the wealthiest place in Green Bay, Rice Lake. Like I just worked in Rice Lake. Okay. It's there's not a lot of rich people there. All right. And it wasn't like, yeah, like I, said this one liner just randomly and boom, out came, $50,000. She made calls every day and went to Champions Club. If you realize that's literally like the 2 things that she did on a daily basis. She went to Champions Club and made calls every day. Who could make calls every day and go to Champions Club every day? Raise your hand if you can. Then that means that you could literally sell $50,000 this summer. And she started in late June. It's middle of May. So if you do that now, you literally do those 2 things. And then the third thing is get that accountability partner. You do those 3 things, you're going to have a huge and amazing summer. That's an amazing thing about success, is that it's not easy, but it's simple. Okay, getting to actual shape isn't easy, but it's simple. All right, you wanna have a great body like Jason Heinrichs. It's not easy, but it's simple. He wakes up at like 2 a.m. every day. You know, he runs around the whole city of the pier, does like 100 push-ups with Micah on his back. And I don't think he actually has the car. I think he just runs everywhere. But it's simple. That's all you got to do. So you want to be good at the job. You want to sell lots of Cutco. It's simple. Okay. You just do 2 or 3 things every single day, and that's it. I just wanted to unshare that. Okay. So the main thing, guys, is, you know, obviously I just talked about this a couple of weeks ago, but if you want to go big for the summer, it's honestly just all up to you. It really is. You know, and I know how some of you feel when you look at some of those people that Jason talked about, and he was showing like how much they make. And I know some of you are like, yeah, that's great, that's them, but that's not me. I know that's how some of you are thinking, because that's exactly how I used to think. Like, oh, well, that's just how people in Minnesota or Chicago can sell. Or, oh, you know, that was just Sammi. She was just an anomaly. But I'm just, you know, the average Joe. No pun intended, Joe. But I'm just the average Joe. You don't know me, whatever. Like, that's bull crap. That's literally bull crap. The other thing I love about Cutco is that it doesn't discriminate. Literally anybody can do this. Okay, we've had one of my good friends in the business is handicapped, and he won a silver cup and has a Rolex. Okay, we've had a blind person sell what, $90,000 in a year, something like that. We've had people that, you know, lived on the wrong side of the tracks. Like, this is one of my favorite stories from like years ago. I don't remember the names of any of these people, okay? So don't ask me, but this guy was like, I think in New York, on the wrong side of the tracks. He was selling Cutco, not doing well. And his manager told him like, hey, I want you to ask one question on your referrals on every single appointment for like whatever the span of time was. And it was that question of, when we're doing in-home appointments, Mr. Jones, who do you know that could buy everything in the blue book if they wanted to? And after that span of time, I think he had like 60 people like that. And I think it was during SC2, I believe this is true, for SC2, the only people that he did appointments with were people that could buy everything in a blue book fee if they wanted to. And he sold like $50,000 or $60,000. Okay, this job does not discriminate, all right? But you can discriminate yourself by not working hard and not believing in yourself, all right? Just like Jason's poster says, you did not wake up today to be mediocre, okay? And one of my favorite quotes is that, you know, success cannot be bought, as rented, and rent is due every day. So like Joe, you need to write on that whiteboard behind you, how are you going to pay rent to success today? Maybe it's one thing. Maybe you just have to make your bed. Okay, I don't know what that says, but I'm sure. Oh yeah, you got it. Perfect. Yeah, that's great. So Joe's got it. Maybe it's like, hey, I need to make my bed. I need to drink a glass of water and make 20 calls. If that's it, awesome. And if you do those things 5 days in a row for the next, 10, 13 weeks, you're going to be doing pretty well. Okay. So ultimately, this job is up to you. So if you want to go big, just go for it. The worst thing that's going to happen is that you sell some Cutco, you make some money, and you have a good experience. The best thing, you're going to sell more Cutco, have a better experience, and make more money. All right. So, and like the last thing I'll say is just like that money, like you guys can do a lot with that money. Okay. I don't care about how hard you need to work or the plans you had this summer. If you had a chance to literally have $20,000 in your bank account at the end of the summer, like if Grant, or whoever your real name is, Grant, if I was literally going to hand you a check for $20,000 at the end of the summer, you'd probably do whatever the heck you had to do to make that happen. You probably would have no problem telling your friends, hey, instead of us going out every weekend, let's just pick 4 weekends we can go out. Is that okay? Can we do like once a weekend? Noah, thank you. I think they'd be okay with that, all right? How about, hey, instead of sleeping into noon, let's just sleep until like 7:30 to get on Champions Club. But on Saturday, if we hit our goal, we can sleep until 10, right? Or Sunday, we can do that, whatever, okay? Now, Noah's manager, Grant Padarakis, right? He is a stud, and he viewed his summer as a fast start. All right. This is as like a top branch manager, but he's like, hey, 100 days to go all out and to sacrifice so I can have the other 200 days to do whatever. Sounds pretty awesome to me. So I can go on and on. I just want you guys to do really well because the money, you can like do a lot with it. So
Yeah.
I'll stop there.
Yeah. Thank you, Vern. Let's give it for Vern. Thank you for inspiring us and always bringing the goods. I know a couple of you got to get rolling to demos and things here. But thanks. That's how you win an All-American with those tips, which you saw some overlap, right? A lot of overlap between Sammi and Vern, but a lot of it comes down to the choice, comes down to the focus, the commitment, and the daily discipline. You have the vehicle in Cutco. You have the manager and coach that believes in you. All you have to do is do it. So go ahead and type in the chat. What was your biggest takeaway? What's the biggest realization or switch that happened for you that you feel like you need to do to help you be an All-American this summer?